Hey Tackle Warehouse fans, we are into April. It's starting to warm up. We're coming off a little cold front here in California, so hopefully the fishing picks back up for us. In most of the country, you could be in a full-blown spawn, and now's the time to get out there and do some fishing. So from Lews, we got a bunch of Bassmaster Classic Release products for you here today. Some of the stuff is up for pre-order. Some of the stuff is actually in stock. You can buy it right now. This first one here from Lews is a new Custom Light SS spinning reel. A great spinning reel from Lews, incredibly smooth, tons of power, and there's a ton of different technology in here. So they're using their Tanso Tech frame and rotor, so you're getting super lightweight, but it's incredibly rigid and robust and strong. I mean, there's no flex in this thing. Some of the reels that are made out of like cheaper materials, you can grab the stem there and you can bend them and feel the flex in it. Nothing in this reel at all. Another thing that they've done with this reel, which I think is a huge benefit, is they've put this shallow spool in here with the braid ready kind of rubber ring in the middle. So what that's going to do for you, there's not going to be any more need for putting backing on there or just wasting a bunch of line. And especially if you're fishing the braided line, especially really thin braided line, you don't have to worry about putting all that backing on there and wasting a bunch of time and wasting a bunch of space on the back of the spool that you're not going to use anyway. You know, with those super thin braided lines, you still have plenty of room to get a ton of line on there, because that stuff is, you know, normally equivalent to like a 2-4 pound mono or floor diameter. 10+1 ball bearing system in here, so super smooth, really smooth drag system on there. Got a loud clicker on the when the drag's going off. Just a great reel. Comes in $159. So if you're looking for a new spinning reel, great cosmetics, check this one out from Lews. From Mach, we got a bunch of new Mach Baits. Some really cool designs we've been waiting for. Should be here in stock any day now. These are also going to be exclusively only at Tackle Warehouse until September, so you can only get them here. The first one, the Mach Craw, there's a few of us in the office that are pretty pumped about this little craw bait. The streamline profile of it, this is going to be a great like little flip in and punching bait. It's going to be able to slip through cover super well. Got a lot of heavy ribbing on the back. It's going to be able to hold, you know, a nice 3/0 or 4/0 flipping hook depending on the brand. Got a couple little appendages on the side there, just create that more natural profile and more natural movement. But the claws, really kind of thicker claws on the end, so they're going to kick and move a ton of water. And the material is a lot thicker where the connections are, so it's going to prevent some of those kind of, when you get those small fish that bite and pull your claws off your baits, going to happen a little bit less with this bait right here. The next one is their new schooler minnow. So you know, tons of live scope baits coming out on the market. You know, that's going to be going on this whole next season. But this little bait, it's kind of a hybrid. So it does have like a soft plastic jerkbait style body on here with this unique ribbed tail on the back. So you could rig it up on like a small EWG or offset worm hook and fish it just like you would like a normal soft plastic jerkbait. It's a 4-inch bait. It is pretty small, but this is also going to be, you know, going to be great on the jig heads for live sonar fishing. But that ribbed tail on the back, this is also going to be a great trailer for maybe your smaller spinnerbaits and then like your smaller chatterbaits like the Mini Max. That smaller, more compact profile, going to fit on a lot of applications for a small minnow trailer. The next one is their soft stick bait. Another one that I'm pretty excited to try out. One, because it's a thinner profile and it's a little bit skinnier and slimmer than most of your 5-inch soft stick baits. So when you're looking around the market, most of them are all about the same size. This one is definitely a little bit more slimmer, but it's not super skinny like a standard straight tail finesse worm. So it's kind of an in-between, but a small, more finessey, soft stick bait. And when fish are getting a lot of pressure, I mean, it's always a great option to downsize your tackle, just something a little bit smaller and a little bit more subtle. On the egg sac here in the middle, it does have ribbing. So it's gonna hold the hook point, especially if you fish it with an EWG hook or an offset weightless instead of a wacky rig. You're gonna have a nice spot to hide that hook point in there, and it's not gonna get torn up. And you know, after one fish, you're still gonna have spots to put that hook point and keep it perfectly weedless. Their last one here is their mega worm. So 9-inch worm, you know, the big worm season is gonna be here before you know it. You know, summertime bite, fish are gonna start moving out on ledges, out on those secondary points, you know, outside grass edges. once it starts warming up, and the big worm is a great bait in the post-spawn season. So definitely want to pick some of these up and just have them ready to go, because once those fish are done spawning and they start looking for those bigger meals to kind of feed back up, the big worm is a great option during that time of the year. Some more worms here from Missile Baits. So the Missile Baits Magic Worm, we got 3 new colors. So these Missile Bait Magic Worms, they come in 2 sizes, and these are actually poured by Robo Worms. So if the colors look familiar, it's that Robo Worm style pour, but made for Missile Bait. So these are the bigger, these are the 6-inch size, but they do have them in it's either a 4 or 4.5-inch size. But the couple new colors that we got, the Morning John, and then we got this one here, the Timid Bluegill, and then this purple one here, the Hammer Emoji. Super stoked that they added these colors to the lineup. I've used a bunch of these Missile Bait worms in the past, and they work great for a bunch of different applications. My favorite, throw them on a chicken rig, but Nico rigging, shaky head, drop shot, whatever you want to do. I got a trip coming up to a spotted bass fishery, and definitely gonna have a few packs of these Morning Johns. Those spotted bass love to eat that color. From Gamakatsu, we got a ton of new stuff. I believe 13 different products. So what Gamakatsu is doing is they're converting a bunch of their most popular hooks into this new Nano Alpha coating. So on the outside, instead of the black nickel finish, you're gonna have this Nano Alpha coating, which is a slick gray coating. It's actually, I think, 2 times slicker than the black nickel. So you're gonna get better hook penetration, and it's way more corrosion resistant. They've sent us some images where they put all the different finishes of hooks inside of a saltwater tank, like a bronze finish, black nickel finish, and this Nano Alpha. They put it in the saltwater tank for like 3 months, and these Nano Alpha hooks were nearly unfazed by the saltwater conditions. So you're not gonna have to worry about using the hook, throwing it back in your box, and then coming back later and it's all full of rust. Don't have to worry about it with this style of hook. Plus, you're getting that increased hook penetration, and that Nano Alpha coating isn't as reflective as black nickel, so a little bit more subtle, doesn't have that flash on it. All around, super stoked. Like I said, it's in pretty much all of Gamakatsu's most popular styles of hooks. They got it in that new Nano Alpha. They got EWGs, octopus hooks, Superline hooks, the O'Shaughnessy hook. Another one that they've added, so for all the lure builders out there, the 90-degree jig hook. So if you make a lot of jigs, they have a jig hook option for you with that coating on there. And then we also got a few jig heads. So their Horizon series of jig heads, really geared towards forward-facing sonar fishing, a few different ball head options. This hook, regular round bend, 90-degree, but there's also a bigger model with the EWG style hook that's built for those bigger style bait fish minnows. So, the 5-6-inch style baits that you want a little bit bigger hook than your standard, small finesse 90-degree round bend. They got that bigger hook that's got more gap on it, so you can fish those bigger style soft plastic baits. From Headhunter, we got a new updated model of the Ricken Trickster. This is the Ricken Trickster Plus spinnerbait. What's great about this, it's got a bunch of different innovative things that aren't on any other spinnerbait out there on the market. A few years ago, Ricken actually won a tournament down in Florida throwing this spinnerbait, and it was one of the best tournaments to watch. Watching, a legend of the sport throwing a spinnerbait that he designed and just catching absolutely giant fish on it. With this new Trickster Plus, they've kind of revamped it a little bit. They've kind of changed the wire up. They've added this little bend in here, so it keeps the blades directly over the hook, which is really cool. And there's a bunch more color options and size options available. So the last one didn't have as wide of an offering with the colors and sizes. This has got a bunch. And this new head, it's got some of the weight poured down on the shank, just keeping the profile compact and keeping it balanced, and just adding that more weight down there so it runs straight all the time. And then of course got the long drop blades that Ricken designed. It's kind of a hybrid blade, unlike any other. It's not a double willow or a Colorado or Indiana, nothing like that. So this blade is actually going to get you the thump and vibration of your Colorado blade or Indiana blade, but it also produces the flash of a willow. It's a really cool blade design. So if you're in the market for some new spinnerbaits, the new Ricken Trickster Plus spinnerbaits are available. Last up, from BaitFuel, we got their new Injector kit. This is a great product. So you can fill it up. It comes with all these like refill vials inside. It comes with 4 of them. and a few different needles in there. So you can actually inject bait fuel into baits that maybe that aren't scented or don't have the bait fuel formula in them. The bait fuel, a proven fish attract it. Now you can start injecting it into all sorts of baits that you want to. And we sell the refill kits for it as well. So if you run out, you can get refill kits and just and keep stocked up and keep all your baits scented up as much as possible. All right, last up, our camera guy moved this one off the table, so it almost slipped under the radar, but we didn't want to let this one go. So from Netbait, we also have the new 4-inch size of the BaitFuel Twitch minnow. So again, another small minnow bait, 4-inch, great for that live sonar fishing on a jig head, and they've got a bunch of really cool colors in this new 4-inch size, like this new electric shad. So another minnow bait to throw in the arsenal. It's fully infused with the bait fuel formula that the fish just do not let go once they bite it. So another minnow bait loaded with scent to add to the arsenal. So that'll wrap up today's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. For more information, purchase any product seen here today, click shop and link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about.